I'm glad you guys are first.
Actually, we're all right with that.
Yeah, we like that.
We like that because we get to have all of our anxiety go away and we get to sit and enjoy the rest of the presentations.
That's right.
All right, we've been given the task of presenting on motivation. Motivating is definitely a key tool that we all need to have. We should all be looking to drive our people to reach their full potential. If we're not doing that, we're really not doing our jobs. It's key into everything else that we do. It's key into making us money, key into making them money, and key in making us have a better team. We found 5 subcategories for it. It'll help you break it down a little bit better. 1 was knowing your staff. 2, ways to build competition between your team. What a good contest looks like. Awards and recognition. And staying motivated yourself. We feel after finishing all those, you guys will have a better understanding of how to motivate your team. So we're going to start off with Penny with knowing your staff.
Okay, so knowing your staff, as far as what it has to do with motivation, motivation has both an internal and external characteristics. The internal is what we're born with. It's that need to survive, both the physical and emotional needs that we bring into the world. Those are our need for food, our thirst, our need to sleep. They're the human condition. So there are the emotional aspects of that are love, respect, our need to belong. So external motivation is both is learned behavior. It's the consequences of our actions or our inactions. It's both positive and negative, and I call it our passion. So the basic instincts are all the same. Again, it's the human condition, but the most commonly overlooked and underutilized way of motivating people is the thank you and the praise. That should happen every day, and that should be our foundation, and that should be our starting point. So I challenge you to take some time every day, especially when you're leaving. Make your rounds through your individuals that are working that day and just find something to thank them for, find something to praise them for. The most effective way to do that is to personalize that praise. Make it unique to that individual's character, their quality of work, their effort, and then to do that publicly, both in front of other employees as well as customers. Let's give them praise in front of customers. So that should be our foundation, and then the second most underutilized way of motivating in companies is the corrective action plan. Okay? We all need a job. 95% of us, it's a life sentence. We spend our whole life working. So it can be a powerful motivator if we consistent with that program and utilize it instead of allowing our team to make excuses for their performance month after month, or worse yet, us as managers making excuses for our lower performers month after month. So external motivation is more diverse. It has different passions. So employees come to work for different reasons. Usually they come for a paycheck, but it's not what keeps them there. It's not maybe their primary motivation. They may want to be a store manager. So career development and career advancement might be what is really the driving force. They come from all different social, religious, economic. They have different value systems. They have different work ethics. They all have different life experiences. So we need to meet them where they are in order to take them where we need them to go. So we lost my place. So as managers, we have to ask, listen, observe and clarify in order to empower and engage our team. So we have to be out on the sales floor, and we have to observe behaviors. We can't observe behaviors from the back room. Well, maybe some behaviors you can observe from the back room. But in order to really appreciate them and give them that well-deserved thanks, you've got to be able to observe those things that they've done on the sales floor so that you can make them feel valued and get them to perform more for you. So you've got the coaching as well. And in the coaching session, you're really wanting to discover what those behaviors that are making them fail on the sales floor really are. The behavior can be the same. For example, you can have an employee that likes to stay in the back room. Every time there's not a customer, there you find them. They're in the back room. So what is driving that behavior? It's the same behavior. Maybe you've got 3 or 4 people, or we all have different people that like to be in the back room, but what is the behavior that motivates that? So we can ask. They may be able to tell us. And usually our A players, they know already their motivation and their drive. It's out there, you see it. You know how to channel that, you know how to direct that. That's really not our concern, just to keep them motivated. It's the D players and the C players and the B players that you really have to peel back like an onion what those behaviors are. So if an employee is in the back room, we need to find out why. Maybe they're just really social individuals. Maybe they're bored. Maybe they need more engagement and more responsibility. So with that type of person, let's give them the birthdays and the anniversaries and the potlucks and let them be the social directors for the store. Give them a job that makes the rest of the employees have to come to them so that they can be engaged and they can feel valued. Maybe they are food motivated. You know, they're the ones that are back there when the other employees go to lunch or they take their breaks because they're afraid they're going to be missing something. Okay, so that tells you they have a very, very powerful food motivation, and let's use that. Let's make it work for us. So we need to create a situation where we're able to compromise and be flexible and create a win-win situation. I'll feed you, you give me results. So maybe you've got a C+ player that comes to work every day, does a great job, meets their quota every month, but you know, the clock strikes 6 o'clock and they're gone. Doesn't matter who's on the sales floor. A players will stay. B and C and D players will go home. So, you know, what is that behavior? So maybe they said they were here for money, but maybe what they really associate money with providing for their family. And maybe they're really would be more motivated to have every Sunday off or to have more say in what their schedule is going to be. So unless we're asking the right questions and challenging them on the answers that they give us, because we say, okay, what motivates you? And they'll tell you. And then if their actions don't follow their words, then we need to peel back that and ask, what is that behavior? What is it really? So you may challenge them. They may say, I'm not always in the back room. Okay, well, let's do something that can create an awareness for them that shows just how often they are in the back room. A friendly little competition. I get to collect a quarter every time I see you back here. They have to buy into it, of course. And then as you're taking those quarters, or whatever it is, they're going to realize, yeah, you know what, you're right, I am in the back room. And then you visit next month in your monthly, and they're going to agree and buy in with the fact that, yeah, they might not have saw it as clearly the month before, but now they see it a little better, and now they're ready to take the next step. And the next step, of course, is to get them out on the sales floor. So I think I'm going over on my time. So I guess I'll just stop there and back at you.
All right. So I got chosen to do the ways to build competition, which I love because I'm a very competitive person. I'm constantly calling Jeff, Kirsten, talking about I'm going to take you down and how I'm going to do it. That's just what I do. I'm sorry. I look at numbers and keep score. It's just the way I'm bred. That's what gets me going every day, is trying to get to number one. Baby. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I was just talking to Jeff earlier. I'm taking him down. He's going down. 2 points on the stacks, buddy. But one way to do that, create that competition to your reps, real easy. It costs you nothing to color code and rank your board. Who wants to be last on your board? Who wants to be the only person in red on your board?
And I just want to point out that you can tell it came from Jeff because that's what Pearson does.
Yes, that is the tidbit I got from Jeff. I told him he's going to get bored because he's kind of heard this part before. But what I mean by that is at your month end, you take your rep who is number 1 all the way down to the person that was the poorest performer. You rank it on your board. That's the way it stays all month. So all month long, they got the lowest performer has to see that they were the lowest performer all the next month. What do you think they're going to be driving for next month? They don't want to be that person. And that doesn't only motivate your salespeople. I mean, the people that are there to sell your phones or money motivated people. That's also going to get the career people too. Because if you're looking for a promotion, you're a rep and want to be a lead, the last place you want to be is last on your board when Jeff Dean comes to visit you.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to be that red person on the board in 2 categories when Jeff Dean comes to see you. So, because he does actually come in and say, "Who's that? Why are they there?" So, I mean, it's an easy way. It costs you nothing. I mean, you know, get yourself a green and red pen and get going on that. You also can modify that for yourself too. So you can add CSAT and stuff like that in there, but you just gotta stay constant. The reps have to know what's gonna get them up to the top for them to go ahead and go for that. Frame up your awards. We were just talking about it. Dean kind of bit into my presentation. But yeah, put up your awards. I mean, easily that's there for your career-driven people as well. You also, the branding is definitely important. It creates that competition. I don't want to be the only person without a plaque up saying how good I am. You know, I want everybody to know it. Post your stack ranking. That's simple. It's free. It's provided to us Monday to Friday every week. I mean, seriously, it costs you nothing. It's just a little bit of time. You can delegate that to some of your reps. Have them print it out for you.
Yeah, I don't see a lot. I do see you guys do the board. I don't see a lot of the rep level stack ranking.
Yeah,
have the rep level too. That's what I was
we
going to
post
say.
it, and we highlight all the people who are on it. And I actually have almost every day that I work, a rep who's off will call me and ask if another stack ranking came out and where they are.
That's great.
You know how effective it is.
Or
They know.
Brandon, George, or Sam is overtaking them.
Yep.
Another reason that's important is because, I mean, not every store has 10 or 12 or 13 people in the store. I mean, we have some 4 and 5 staff stores, so it's kind of hard to motivate your A players in that store. They're always on the top of your board. So, I mean, by putting it into the stack, the individual stack ranking, you can have them compete against your other stores. You know, it's an easy way. It's like, well, I'm going to be number 1 in this store. Let's go for number 1 in the region. Let's go for number 1 in the district. And it gives them a bigger goal and that competitive edge. I had 2 reps calling from 2 different stores, you know, drawing at each other. I'm going to beat you this month. Let's bet lunch on it. You know, that type of competition is going to help you in your goals. Take your number 1 player out for lunch. Why not? They're making you the most money. You have your monthly allotment of money that you can spend. Take them out. Show them that being number 1 means something. These are all very, very simple ways for you to create competition in your store, and it costs you little or no money. So I'm going to hand it over to Janie, and she'll go a little further into what a good contest looks like.
Okay, so the ideas that we got for a good contest are pretty much, of course, you want to make sure it's focusing on the areas that you need the most improvement on, but also motivating all different kinds of people. And on the other end of that, we were talking about different ideas. This doesn't pertain to what he's handing out either. But other ideas to motivate people, how we were talking about, you know, sometimes A players, you gotta find something else to motivate. And we have a rep in our store, Ruby, who is consistently, she does well all the time. But, so sometimes it's hard to find a way to make her want to do even better. But what we've noticed with her, she loves like recognition, she loves everyone to know that she knows how to do a good job. So this month we let her create a contest, so that's one of the contest ideas that we brought for you guys. And she did a really good job. It focuses on all the different types of appreciation languages, I guess. You know, different prizes that people would like. So this is the board that Ruby made. We let her implement this whole contest, and it really motivates her because she likes that, you know, like she loves to be that center of attention, and everybody knows that she's doing a great job. So anyway, she made this contest, and each time you get a ring, and it's a 2-team contest, so you get it as a team, so whoever gets it. So like the first ring, 20 activations, 1,000 new accessories, 25 data attachments, 5 error cards. Once they get it, they pull the ring off, there's a prize there. So each ring has a different kind of prize, and it's directed toward a different kind of, you know, appreciation language, I guess. Like there's air cards, or gift cards in here as a prize, E-points as a prize, lunch with the manager, get to pick your own schedule. So it appeals to every different type. One prize in the glass contest, I think we told you guys about on the conference call last time, but the make Paul eat anything you want. It was definitely great. Everybody wanted to win that prize. And he did eat. I have on video if anyone wants to see it. What he had to eat was pig feet soup. It had toenails in it and everything, and he was a champ and ate it. There's a lot of hot sauce in it though, so there's eye water, but he did it. And I have it on video if anyone wants to taste it.
That's probably how you got it down.
What's this?
Awesome.
I'm like, that's not bad.
Oh no, it was.
He made us all eat hot sauce when we first, and when everyone gets the
It's an
liquid.
initiation,
Yeah.
That was
So
really
that hot sauce was in the pig feet soup, and yeah, there was toenails and everything. You can hear him crunching on the toenails.
How many of you guys have competition for the register that's closest to the door in your store? Is that a big deal for employees?
Yeah, in our store it is.
I made a big mushroom.
Yeah.
In my store it is too. So one of the things that I wanted to say before I ran out of time was that what about having both the challenge in motivation, a reward, and a consequence? So you've got the negative there that is going to create the performance that you want as well as the reward. So in my team, if you know you leave the sales floor, you get register 1 the next month. Somebody's got to take it away from you, something like that. So it would work really well with A players to make them have to decide what the consequence is. If you're going to play 2 A players or 3 A players, set before the contest starts, obviously, but that way you've got a walk of shame for those A players who didn't get it done. You can call it whatever you want, but just it's that double-edged sword that motivates and twice as much. Just an idea.
Okay. And then the other thing was the awards and recognition. What Jeff mentioned earlier was like the pride wall. So we did it in our store, and we actually painted it so you can see different shapes, yellow, black, and white. So we painted it. And what we have up there, closer up shot, Breakfast of Champions, all the Pinnacle Club awards. Here's a shelf of all the awards, and there was one more up there, but I broke it. Sorry, Paul.
I got my award broken.
Working on getting you a new one. Anyways, sorry about that. What? Oh, yeah. And then we also do Employee of the Month in our store too. So another thing, Ruby won that this month too. All about Ruby. Yeah. No, really, there's other people's awards, but the pictures I happen to take for all of her stuff. So this is the appreciation of Ruby.
It's all about.
But anyways, they love it. She loves it. People love to see their name up on that wall, and they don't want to be the only person with no award up there. So, and you know, like what we were saying earlier too, is that it does set a standard for the people who come in your store of what you expect. So the new hires and everything like that, they know beforehand what you expect them to achieve as well. And then we handed out different contest ideas. Penny made up a little bingo card. We did it in our store too, and I think the reason it didn't work as well when we did it is we probably set the goals a little bit too unattainable maybe, but the concept is good, though, the bingo card.
We'll send you the Excel worksheet, so you can go in and change those squares. You can make it as easy or as hard. So what's on there is just for demonstration, just for an example.
You know, like you can add maximize again.
And then,
Could be worse. You guys couldn't be superstars in it, right?
so you can make different playing cards as well, so that they're not all the same. And once you laminate them, then the whiteboard markers will work on that. You can then cross out the squares and erase them and reuse them.
And then the cards, Penny was actually talking about, and LeRobert and I had never done this, but Penny was talking about, you know, doing poker with them, and it was a really good concept.
So depending on what it is that you want to focus on, maybe it's Maximizer for the day, maybe it's TEP attachment, since that's new. So every time an employee sells whatever you've predetermined, they get a card. And then at the end of the day, whoever's got the best poker hand wins a prize, whether it's E-points or lunch.
Is anybody doing the Quota Buster cards? I haven't heard those in ages. Remember those back in the day? We used to do those, so you'd have these little, we pre-printed the business cards, and you could do it for a day or a week or the month. And if you had those, each rep got them, and they got stamped out or signed by the manager. And when they had 5 hole punches, they got to turn it in for something. Grab bag, a prize, whatever, 5 quota relief for the future month, you know, whatever it is. So we have the artwork somewhere.
Okay, so that's that, and then the last thing was Penny with self-motivation.
Oh, yes, keeping yourself motivated. Obviously, you can't come to work a motivated team if you haven't motivated yourself. So, not going to spend a whole lot of time on that, but there are things that you can do, like organize yourself, and some people are going to be talking about multitasking. Creativity is something else that you can use to keep those juices flowing. Enable, empower, and delegate. You can't do it all by yourself, so you need to have the village do it for you, which is your team. Attitude, obviously, being the most important. Attitude is something that you've got to bring every day. You need to have an outlet for stress as well, and you just really need to live a balanced life. So you need to remember to take care of yourself, get your rest, do something that's fun for you, do things that help you relax, and don't put yourself last. And so something that I've brought to help is a nutrition bar, but it's more than that. It's a balanced nutrition bar, which I have created an acronym, and it's Believe, Attitude, Leads, and Nurtures Creative Environment. So have your bar when you're short on lunch, and then save the wrapper. Save the wrapper and put it somewhere on your workplace where you can look at it and remember to live a balanced life.
And
That's it. Thank you.
Attitude,
And
leads,
I would just like to add to what Penny's
and
saying.
and nurtures.
You guys, that
environment.
we work in a really tough business. You guys work weekends, you work nights. And one of the things I want you to make sure you do is take your vacation time, because the numbers are still going to be there, and if you have the good teams that you have, it shouldn't matter when you're gone. But you make an offer to the company every day of delivering the business. The company's offer back to you is benefits, time off, all of that. Take it, because you don't want, at least for me, on my tombstone and on my grave, I don't want to go, gosh, I wish I would have worked more, because that's not where we get the joy of life, okay? You guys need to take the time off, so do it.
Amen. Well, thank you guys. Excellent. Beautiful. So.